welcome to my presentation in Pixels of Production. I'm excited that you're here today working on yourself. Whether you're strengthening a current skill set or looking to learn something new, I'm excited to share the next several minutes with you. Today I'm going to share with you the many hats I wear in agriculture and how I juggle all of it.
My name is Kalena Bruce, and I'm a fifth-generation farmer from Stockton, Missouri. My husband Billy and I, along with our daughter Willa, work together on our farm, which is primarily a cow-calf operation. We also help my parents and my sister's family operate Kinney Family Farms, which is our side agritourism business, bringing people out to the farm for you pick strawberries and conversation. Just like you, I wear many hats in my day-to-day life. Our beef cattle operation is no different than most in the state of Missouri, and we are proud to be living our dream and raising the sixth generation on the farm. We rotational graze and stockpile grass to maximize the use of our land. Doing so means the cattle need moved every 3 to 4 days. We go to great lengths to make sure our cattle are well cared for so they can raise big, healthy calves that provide well for the farm. 3 days a week, you can find me in my office. I partnered with my sister 11 years ago to open Integrity Squared CPAs, and like many of you, my husband and I rely on our off-farm jobs to raise capital and grow our farming operation. Gone are the days where a young couple can enter farming or ranching at a reasonable price and on a level where you can farm full-time, at least in my neck of the woods. I imagine many of you also have at least a part-time off-the-farm job to balance out the approximate 50% decline in farm income we've experienced these past few years, or to provide health insurance for your family. No one can say that farmers and ranchers aren't flexible. We roll with the punches and keep the faith. What we do is vital and necessary for human existence, and it takes a certain type of person to be a farmer. Thank you for being willing to juggle family, farm, work, and also be here today. My daughter and I also enjoy competing with our horses. It teaches hard work and responsibility, along with learning how to win and lose gracefully. I am extremely passionate about my role as a political advocate. Traveling to other cities, states, and countries over the last 6 years as a Farm Bureau volunteer leader has taught me so much. The most beneficial thing is that my perspective as a rural American is valued because it's hard to understand the level of need if you don't live it. From access to health care to rural broadband, there are so many things that we must advocate for if we want our children to have the same opportunities as those living elsewhere. I spend time weekly helping to strengthen local organizations, writing opinion pieces for media sources, giving interviews, and doing whatever else I can to advocate for rural America. So along with all of that, like most women, my roles as wife and mother are what is most important to me. Putting warm meals on the table, making an inviting and festive home, and finding time to foster the relationships with my husband and daughter are the highlights of my day.
Phew, that's a lot to accomplish in a week's time. But I wouldn't want to give up any of it for the sake of being less busy. What does that even mean, being less busy or being more busy? Have you ever heard that conversation where someone says, "Hey, how are you?" And the other person says, "Oh man, I'm just so busy." Like, that's just a gut reaction for humans, and I think that it shows the mentality of Americans in general these days, how we want to one-up each other on the victim mentality of, "I'm busier than you," or "My Band-Aid's bigger than yours." Honestly, I have to stop myself from having that same gut reaction when someone asks me that question. Who really cares how busy I am? They're asking how I am and they're starting a conversation. And so I need to be there in that moment and have that conversation back with them. In that very moment, I have to remind myself to practice discipline and gratitude. I get to be a wife and a mother. I get to advocate for my community. I get to work in a business that I built from the ground up and help other people achieve financial success. Having gratitude and the discipline not to have the same gut reaction, same response as those around me provides for meaningful conversations and a meaningful life. We can all get overwhelmed at times and feel like our life is just the normal daily grind. COVID has been really tough for me. It's been hard to not have the same connections and same interactions that I have with people on a daily basis, and I know that it's the same for other people. I have really had to reach deep within myself and push through the mundane of daily life. And not that my life is mundane at all, but the same thing every day can be hard for one. You've got to push through it. You've got to focus on something else other than what that daily grind is that you're in right now. Some people call it a funk. It's all the same, right? That feeling of not achieving what you should be achieving, or being split 18 different ways and not being the best mom or the best wife or the best career person. Those are feelings that we all have. But if you practice gratitude on a daily basis, on a moment-to-moment basis, you'll find yourself lifting out of that haze. One of my favorite all-time quotes is, "Get in the game. Life is won on the court, and you can't win life booing or cheering from the stands. You've got to get in, you've got to make changes." One of the things that I have been working through during COVID is strengthening personal connections. And now I just said, right, that I was struggling because I wasn't getting those personal connections. And when I say I'm working towards that, I'm using the people in my life, my best friend, my sister, my mom, my husband, to work on my relationship skills. I've been reading a book about validation and how important it is to validate a person's concerns or feelings before jumping in with a solution. I'm a fix-it girl, right? I like to fix whatever problem I'm in, but I've come to realize that that's not what people need or want. They just need to know that you're there and that you understand their problems and that you're listening and that you feel for them in their current situation. I think that's one of the reasons why I love advocating so much, because I like to listen to what people's problems are and then I like to fix them. I can practice that same intentional feeling for anything else that I'm doing, whether that's writing an op-ed or giving an interview, or if I'm at work or with friends. It doesn't matter. That same refocus of what the goal is for that day or the goal is for the next 2 hours is super important. And however you achieve that, whether that's making lists or putting reminders into your phone, it's super important to have that to help jar you into refocusing. We can let the day just drag by and have that mopey feeling of, man, it's just a blah day. I had one yesterday. I wasn't very intentional about anything I did until I got home. And it kind of made my day just not productive. I still got things done, but I didn't feel like I accomplished what I could have accomplished if I had been intentional in the moment. Doesn't matter what it was that I was doing that day. I just wasn't intentional about it. And looking back now on my day yesterday, I can see that about myself, and it's really a skill that you have to master, being intentional. My advice to all of you is learn how to master your internal vision board. You know, like a Pinterest board, right? You have all these different ideas and theories and things that you would want to do to make your kitchen more inviting or your dinner plans for the next 2 weeks better. You can make a internal vision board for yourself, for your life. And if you have negativity in there, then that's what's going to come out of that internal vision board. And being grateful and being intentional and leaving the negativity at the door, that's how you create a life full of meaning and a life full of all the different things that help you be the best person you can be and reach your full potential. If you're having a negative day, what's going to be the outcome? Negativity. When you wake up, you get out of bed and you say, this is going to be a very productive day and I'm going to get A, B, C, and D done, and when I come home, I'm going to have great family time with my husband and my daughter, then that's what you'll have. If you get out of the bed and you say, man, today is going to suck. I have 12 appointments and my daughter has a recital and my husband needs my help on the farm, and how am I going to get it all done? I'm not going to get it all done. I'm just barely going to get by. Then you're just barely going to get by. So that internal vision board, you have to leave the negativity off of it, because you're not going to be able to accomplish the goals. You're not going to be able to reach your full potential with that in your life.